For Agriculture and Water Resources. Minister, as you know, much of my electorate is currently experiencing a 1 in 100-year drought, particularly in the mid and upper south-east and in the Mallee. What measures, Minister, is this government taking to assist our nation's drought-affected farmers, including those in my electorate of Barker?
The Minister for Agriculture and Water Resources.
Well, thank you very much, Mr Speaker, and I thank the honourable member for his question and note that what is happening in his electorate, especially in the areas that have experienced a 1 in 100-year drought. In his electorate, which has so much to add to the agricultural production of our nation, it's only proper that we do whatever within our power at a federal level in conjunctions with the states to try and make sure we do a small part in alleviating it. Now, we know there's been good rains on the eastern side of our nation, but there's still sections of South Australia that have been doing it awfully tough. The mid to upper south-east of South Australia, particularly around the towns of Narracourt, Bordertown and Worsley, have now missed 2 seasons, and farmers who rely on cropping for more than 60% of their income are doing it particularly tough. Now, parts of South Australia in the Barker electorate have experienced the lowest on record rainfall over the past 2 years. But what we are doing is we are making sure that we get cash to people who are doing it tough, so at least they can pay their groceries, they can pay their fuel bill, they can keep the dignity in their life. This is done through farm household allowance. Across Australia, we've now given out $91.9 million has been paid out, and 5,740 claims have been granted. On average, the government is now paying out $1.35 million a week in farm household allowance. Since coming to office, the coalition has made available $80 million in concessional loans for South Australian farmers. We are making sure that across our nation there's been around $400 million in drought concessional loans approved, supporting 768 farm businesses. The government, as part of the white paper, will make $250 million available in concessional loans this year, and which locks in $2.5 billion in loans for the next 10 years. We put $25.8 million for control of pests and weeds and animals in drought-affected areas, with $15 million in projects funded this year, including $1 million for South Australia to strengthen the north-east dog fence and to also deal with wild dog, camel, feral pigs and feral horses and weeds control in South Australia's arid lands. We've also put $1.8 million in additional support for the Rural Financial Counselling Service, of which $160,000 has gone to South Australian Rural Financial Counselling Services. We've also made sure that we've got $20 million for delivery of enhanced social and community support, including drought coordinators. We've also brought in accelerated depreciation for fencing, over 100% for fencing, 100% for water, and over 3 years for fodder storage to silos and sheds. We have increased recently farm management deposits from $400,000 to $800,000 to help self-management. We are making sure that we push banks for these to be offset. Mr Speaker, we are doing this and more and continue to work closely with the people of South Australia and across our nation in support of those in drought.
Minister's time.